What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Wee Sweet One. Today we're going to talk about how to get around the 1/3 rule when cutting your grass after it's rained a lot and it's got way too long. So stay tuned. Alrighty, so as I explained today, we're going to talk about how to get around the 1/3 rule. And the 1/3 rule is just, you don't want to take any more than 1/3 off the full length of the blades of grass. Now this itself is a weed, but any grass that you have that's overgrown, especially after 3, 4, 5 days of excessive rain, you're going to have this issue. So the trick is to actually do a double cut. So what we're going to do is cut it down at the highest setting, and then from there we're going to lower it 1 notch and do another cut. All right, so that grass is definitely longer than what it should have been, but we got our first cut down. And the reason why, even if it seems like it cut just fine, the reason why you're going to want to make sure you do a double cut anyways, at least in my opinion, because you want to keep everything looking nice. You're going to get a lot of wet grass or dead grass built up. There was a lot of dew this morning. I probably should have waited, but you get clumps that build up in the lawn, and you get these white lines that eventually will look like dead grass lines. So yeah, you see the first cut is about maybe 1/3 of the grass, but if I took it any more lower, then I would have ended up breaking the 1/3 rule. But I still want to cut the grass again, cut it lower than this, just to prepare for the next week or so of weather to come. So that's what we're going to do, is go ahead and set we're going to set the mower 1 notch down. But before we do this side again, we're going to do the other side. All right, so we're like midway. I did the front. I only did the first cut. I haven't done the second one yet. But the reason why we're going to do a double cut, and the reason why that 1/3 rule is so important, is because it's a level of stress on the grass. I mean, if you cut more than 1/3 off at a time, you probably won't kill it, but you have a better chance of the plant or the grass going through like a shock period. There is a good chance it will die. It won't make it. But when when you're cutting, and it's probably not the best view, but when you're cutting, you want to make sure to observe every angle of what's going on. So, for instance, my feet are super, super dirty. Rule number 1, probably don't cut grass wearing flip-flops, but you can see the difference in the height. Now I've already measured this, and this is with my mower set at the highest setting, and it actually looks like I'm cutting it way down. This is still 4 inches on the cut side. I'm gonna bring it down just a notch more, and the reason why, and I can already see that everything's working in my favor. It is still morning time. There's still some dew on the grass, but when you start cutting your grass just a touch shorter, every time, what you're gonna end up with is just a much thicker lawn. Your grass is gonna try to grow up, and every time you cut it, you're telling it no, and it says, but I wanna grow. No. So then it says, well, I'm not gonna grow up, I'm gonna grow sideways. If every blade of grass in your yard does that, your yard will literally become twice as thick. It's kind of like a grand scale kind of thing you got to think about. But the thicker the grass is, the more the grass is going to maintain its moisture content below the blades and on top of the soil. It's going to help the sunlight and the heat from the sun from burning up the soil and drying it out. And because there's so much grass, every time you cut it, as long as you're mulching it with a good mulcher blade, all the stuff that's being cut will drop through the blades back down to the grass and create your bacterial growth, your process of breaking down what's on the soil that's dead and reintroducing it back into the soil. So it's kind of like a recycle kind of system for your grass. And even if you use nutrients like Milorganite or Ringer Lawn Restore, or if you just did an Epsom salt treatment, or any type of yard fertilizer, that's going to help keep a recycle process. Now obviously not all of the nutrients will be available. It's going to kind of diminish over time, but I mean it's August 4th, Saturday, August 4th, and I haven't done any treatment since May, I think. May, June, July, almost 3 months. I haven't done any treatments on the yard. I've just been cutting, and through the summer I cut high. Now we're starting to move into fall. It's going to start to cool off, so you know, when the fall weather starts up, it's, you know, it's cooler, and the grass can handle cooler weather cooler weather better than it can super hot, you know, dry weather. Fortunately, we've just had a bunch of rain that came through the last few days, and so that's definitely helped. But what I'm doing, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and finish the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and set the mower one notch lower. So when we get to that, I'll show you how that looks. Also, before I do this cut, this is probably going to be the best time for me to go ahead and break out the trimmer. I mean, a lot of this can't really see so well just because there's a lot of dead grass, or cut grass. I don't think it's quite dead yet, but if I can go ahead and trim around these pieces and the outside and the edge of the sidewalk, then when I go ahead and do the second mow, I can mulch everything in and have a more clean look. And then all I have to do afterwards is just hit it with the blower. So I'm going to break out the string trimmer, and fortunately you guys don't have to sit and wait for me to wind up a couple spools, so I'll do that, and I'll just jump right to it after we've done that. All right, so before we do this one notch lower, just got done trimming everything, and you can kind of see now, so that there's not going to be anything that's not going to get cut, because now that I've trimmed around everything, you know, when I go over it again with the mower, it's going to help blow this stuff away from the grass, maybe pick some of it up and scatter it in the grass, but essentially everything's going to get mulched really good. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mower to a lower setting, fill it up with some gas, and the upside is, now that I've cut it, it's probably still holding moisture pretty well, but the sun has come out and it should be drying things up a little bit. So let's go ahead and fire up and make our second pass. Not too shabby. Alright, so it's been quite a few hours since I started this project, but that's how you do a double cut. You're going to cut the first time at your highest setting if your grass is just way too long. Then you're going to bring it down one notch, run over everything one more time. The other reason why you might do that is, you know, you saw the stripes in my lawn. If you really wanted to do like a checkered pattern, you would do it one way at your first setting, drop it a quarter or just one notch or whatever, and do it whatever other angle on the yard that you want to do to create that pattern. So that's how people pull that off. Or, you know, you could cut it this way today, and then the next time you cut, do it at a different angle. Many different ways to lay your patterns out, but that's how I do mine. And I think everything looks pretty good for the most part. So thank you for watching this video update on my lawn. That used to be real crappy, and now it's actually doing pretty good, I think. I'm kind of proud of it now. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm doing updates all the time. Just kind of showing you what works for me. And right now it's moving into fall. It's still a little warm. We still have a couple 90-degree days coming, but for the most part it's staying below like 86, 85. The temperature is going to be going down over the next couple weeks to the next month or so. So this would be right about when you want to prepare to start your fall renovation or your fall lawn care program, where, you know, you start cutting it a little bit shorter more often, start watering it when it's dry out, start giving it Milorganite or fertilizer, which we will be covering in many videos to come. So like I said, don't forget to subscribe, and then if you got any questions, comments, just leave them in the comment section, and we will see you on the next video. And in case you were wondering what I was using to do my trimming and my blowing, I was using the Greenworks 40 volt lithium max. That's actually just a battery size. Greenworks makes a number of different items you can buy and purchase, but because where the battery fits, it's a 40 volt lithium ion battery, and it actually runs for quite a while. The weight of it is very similar to that of a regular weed eater or string trimmer, what have you. Nice thing about this is while you're using it, the second it's electric, so the second you let off the trigger, it's going to feed out an extra 1/4 inch of string every time. So you never have to worry about bumping it. In fact, you'll actually void the warranty if you bump this. But it does phenomenal. I use it every day. And in conjunction with that, I always use my Greenworks blower. Same concept. This also uses the 40 volt. And the batteries, well, just one battery, it actually goes right here. And what's nice about it is I can do the string, I can take the battery off, put it on the charger, finish mowing. When I'm done, I can just throw the battery on here, and with the push of a button, everything comes on. And it's got, you know, a couple variable speeds, one, I believe all the way up to 9, or I guess 6. And then you have a high power button, so you can run it on low and then press that and it'll kick it into high power, and again you can adjust it all the way up to the max. It does go up to 185 mile an hour, and it has a couple different attachments, as well as the bottom disconnects to suck up and then discharge out this side into a bag, so you can suck up your leaves and stuff in the fall, which I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be real dusty, but it'll be fun. These items, as well as all other items I use and show on this channel, are all available in the description.